MJ. I'm the host of this channel. I am a tarot reader, longtime yoga and meditation teacher, and an intuitively guided human with a sincere desire for the world to be more loving. Make the world a better place for you and for me and for the entire human race. Love is the key to all that. Very profound awareness of this loving resource within us, and how mental emotional responsibility, being as responsible as we can, is a big part of that. And that's why we do things like meditation and whatever, is becoming aware, like becoming self-aware of our emotions and our thought form. And because again, that's really not heavily taught in our world. We're kind of taught to shut that down and just kind of fit in and do what you're told, right? Okay, Taurus, let's get into your reading. Divine guidance and loving clarity. Divine guidance and loving clarity. Please check out the merchandise. Feel free to book a private reading or subscribe to All to Love for regular updates. Usually I send monthly shout outs just to give you a reminder of the monthly readings and the merchandise and whatever other events I've got going on. Divine guidance and loving clarity. Divine guidance and loving clarity for Taurus supreme lovers. Divine guidance and loving clarity. You're getting out. You're starting to look at your options. I think some of you might have walked away from a fire sign, king or queen, but this is a queen energy. I think with general readings, it's totally viable to do what you want with the genders, certainly. She's reversed though, so I'm like, this is just not, I can't do this anymore. I need to look this direction, and I'm gonna lay stuff down and plant seeds for a new beginning. This is Seven of Wands, or Seven of Pentacles. This is like, I gotta start. It is that feeling of like, I gotta start focusing on myself, and it's like the Two of Wands in the upright is, I think, a really nice energy. It's a little bit of like, I'm fantasizing, or it's more visualization, imagination, but also I think about like doing the preliminary work for Three of Wands. So like doing a bit of research into foreign countries, or doing a bit of research into like, how would it look if I went over here, or what would it, okay, so I've done this, now what can I do? Now where can I go? What could I do with the information and the resources that I have? And then I love that in the Two of Wands that he or she is holding the world, because it makes me think of like, we all have the world in our hands, right? What you want to do with that world is up to you. Go slow, you guys. Go slow. I mean, Taurians typically do go slow and can be ever so slightly stubborn. I feel like there's a square, like, but that will be gone. That will be finished by the time we're in July. But there's definitely some benevolent Venetian energy coming through in early days of July. This is simply like manifesting what you want. Laying down the past, manifesting what you want. I do get a very autonomous energy. For most of you, I'm reading for a single person. And if you were engaging or dating a fire sign, they're in the reverse. They're not in the upright, which is why you're turning your back to them. Ace of Birds reverse. I'm like, I just don't think this is going to work. I kind of get a sense, like, for one, this Queen of Wands is reversed. So, like, it's hard to maybe trust everything they say. But then also the Ace of Birds is reversed. So I'm like, one, probably can't tell if they're telling the truth. But also, I don't know if they know if they're telling the truth. Because what they say, I'm like, there's maybe some ungroundedness, or just like, what the fuck? Yeah, deception. Seven of cunning. Deception. Not saying one thing. And that is something I think a lot of the empath community are like continually learning, i.e. empath narcissistic. So usually it's the core wounds that will attract familiar situations that are actually toxic and abusive. So now you're being guided forward on your own. Because whether it's us deceiving ourselves or people deceiving us, there's a layer of betrayal and self-deception that's going on within. Like, it is crazy how real that is. And here's where forgiveness and compassion comes in, is that most of us, I would say, we don't know we're doing it. Like, when something's unconscious, it's not in our conscious awareness, thus we don't know. And that's where when we practice manifestation, it can take possibly years and years to burn through the unconscious to become more conscious. What we're thinking, what we're feeling, and then being conscious of our entire reality. So we're not blaming people, we're not deflecting, we're owning and regenerating, right? So when we are able to let go and lay down self-deception, we typically stop attracting people who deceive us. And if we do, we smell it or we feel it. The Chariot is giving me a sense, Taurus, too, of like, trust you're being guided. And I'm having this memory of like, even I can remember when it was tough, like when I was having financial collapse on my own, a lot of instability, but then also a lot of over responsibility, which just when I look back, thank God, how did I hold all of that? But I didn't know. I didn't know any different, right? Because more recently, what I realized is I've had this unconscious childhood pattern going on. So now that that's dissipating, yes, ego, death, dark night of the soul vibratory, but all the while a little bit of renewed relief and like a little bit of like freedom, liberation. Like, I'm not carrying all this weight anymore. I'm not carrying all this pressure. Because the Chariot moves us forward, flipping it. So instead of being in doubt and fear and deception, flip it to being guided forward in an inspirational way. You're there's something about that star I'm getting of like fusing your talent or holding space for your talent to move it forward. And I'm hearing like, stop lying. Some of you might be lying to yourselves about something you want. Like, I really want that. No, oh no, that's not for me. Like that kind of vibratory. I'm like, yo, don't lie to yourself. Like, if you want the thing, be willing to own it. I kind of get, there's just seeded potential. There's all this potential. But if you don't even ask, if you don't even seed it, oh no. Then you're not going to get all the flowers. You're not going to be able to grow your food, whatever it might be, right? You got to be honest about what we want. It gives you strength. It gives you power. Some of you guys are, ooh, baby, I love you. Some of you guys are really, I want to say, like, coming into your full power, but you're also exuding a little bit of magnetism here. And overcoming. That's why you're wanting to have, that's why you're possibly feeling like, oh shit, I really need to focus my mind. I need to focus my mind because there's seemingly a little bit of lack of stability. Like, some of you might be moving, or you're in the process of moving and you're like, oh, fuck, this is bad timing or whatever. But it's like, no, I'm moving forward, and I'm trusting that I'm moving forward, and I'm not going to doubt myself, and I'm not going to perpetually feel like I don't belong anymore. I'm going to keep moving forward. I'm going to keep having faith. I'm going to keep seeding my intention to create the life I desire. And for a lot of you, just for the interim, you're doing it on your own. Sometimes we just need that time on our own, though, to really kind of drop into a deeper aspect of self, deeper knowing. Hence, where we can then intuitively step back from any shady stuff, any lack of clarity from other people. Great, fine. Come back when you're clear. like versus that's okay. Oh, you can be all unclear with me and I'll still be here and I'll still enable your lack of clarity and I'll make you feel okay about not knowing yourself or maybe treating me less than I deserve. I really get a sense of like now stepping forward, now stepping into these newer cycles of energy. The Fool, baby, baby, newborn. It's like not settling for less unless you feel that inspiration, unless you feel that like will to move forward. It's like I think you've mastered a lot of major shifting here where I think I'm feeling as though some of you are really mastering yourself, but there's something, it's something else. It's like maybe you're mastering self-reflectivity or mastering, I mean, some of you might be mastering manifestation or like yeah, I kind of get this feeling, and Taurians would be, I guess, in a sense, master manifestors, but what was it? Yeah, patience. I'm like, ooh, there's something, like having this patience and knowing your truth that you're being guided forward is enough to be guiding you forward to the point that guidance forward is like building momentum and building momentum and building. And then you're like, let's go. Let's do that thing. Let's book that ticket. So as in this seated beginning of like, what are our options? Where could I go? What could I do? I've done this. What else? What else? And obviously this 2 leads to a 3, and as in booking the ticket, go travel, go on that adventure, go buy that house, go get that thing, whatever. There's a little bit of an adventure spirit here, but it doesn't specifically have to be that like traveling adventure. It can be any number of opportunities energetically that you're wanting to create, right? Creator. So some of you, what you're relinquishing is battling with yourself, like fighting with yourself about maybe what you want, who you are, the direction you want to go in. If you're used to maybe giving too much in situations or giving too much of yourself, you're like, I'm not going to do that. I'm like, I'm hearing, I can't fight anymore. I can't fight anymore. I don't want to fight anymore. And whether it's fighting with yourself or fighting with a colleague or fighting with someone in your house, you're like, I don't want to fight anymore. Sorry, we're not going to fight anymore. Just that simple. Because there's a lot of major shifting, and at the same time, I feel like these shiftings, you're becoming familiar. Like, okay, this is my unworthiness wound, and this is my deception wound, or this is where I deny myself wound. And all of these little bits of self-awareness are helping you move forward, and certainly helping you move away from people that aren't as clear as you, and thus potentially could use you in a way that's not good for you, in a way that's destabilizing for you or disconnecting. Couple more cards here. So I'm going to pull some final cards for my Taurus lovers, divine guidance and loving clarity. What are the final messages for Taurus? You're definitely in like a bit of a changey, like I feel like there's quite a few different moving parts that are moving around. And again, you could be moving at some point. Transits, climate, like you're having to kind of like divine right order, using your voice. I do actually feel like this is more to do with like maybe like going to a choir or going to a vocal coach that but I'm talking about this from a healing perspective of like using your voice. There's plenty of things that people do on the internet, and again, to each their own, right? But right order, voice. This is something about like trusting the divine right order of things, using your voice as and when you need to, and or channeling some guidance to let out the noise quality vibratories that could potentially be healing for you. You are in a transit, okay? So this is like and then there's a 55. That's such a trigger for me for like change. Change, pain, change. And it's a double. So I'm like, just be prepared. Sit tight. As in, we're not like moving around. If we're on a roller coaster, we're sitting tight. We've got our seatbelt on. You know what I mean? Sit tight. You're gonna be up and down and round and round. You're gonna be off. Chariot. You're gonna be off. You're gonna be moving forward. You're coming out of hermit. You're feeling the strength. You're feeling empowered. But the reason for that empowerment is your ability to go slow, is your ability to know what you're seeding, planting, and intending, and to allow the right order to come through. Some of you might want to use your voice, might speak it into existence. Yeah, this is the root, you guys. So with some of you Taurians, like the Muladhara was coming through for me a little. It might have been it might have been even as much as 2 years ago, and it was around the time that my mother immigrated, and like I was teetotal. I was really kind of like working on clearing out. Like yeah, and the Muladhara card came up, and that is the root chakra, but it was also speaking to healing ancestral karma, healing ancestral wounds. And of course, knowing the plight of my own mother's immigration to this country, there was an essence of healing these ancestral, like not belonging anywhere or not being able to go where we belong, not being able to go where our ancestry is. So my mother has like reclaimed that because she was adopted, but both my parents were adopted actually. And as it turns out, both of them have long lost relatives. Some are in Canada, but some are here in the UK. So there's a very guided essence of like people being like, why are you in the UK? Why aren't you in Canada? And I'm like, because I feel more at home here. Hence the ancestral lineage, my intention to heal the family system, and knowing that a few years ago, once mommy had immigrated, the root, and I knew by where I was guided, like, because again, it was all very miraculous, the part of the world where I was guided deep in the countryside. And I still have visualizations within my meditations of the roots happening. Because part of my collapse, my financial collapse of 2017, even by 2016, things were getting really unstable, but like taking leaps where like on one level, I feel high vibratory, like can't sleep, like I'm high in adrenaline, like everything's amazing, I'm super creative, blah, blah, blah. But then percolating underneath are these earthly disparities, which again showed up for me as like extraordinary financial distress and collapse, total isolation, and then a kind of just rebuilding, hence the roots, where my Chiron's in the 4th house in Taurus. So it's like the root, I equate it to tree pose or trees. Trees won't grow unless they have roots. All plants, they need to have the root system to grow. We're the same. In my personal lived experience, I didn't have a home for so long. I didn't have roots for so long. Flying high and traveling and doing all this high vibratory stuff led to burnout. Completely frazzling and frying my own nervous system to the point that it's now taken years to heal the frazzled nervous system, but then to also start to root. And that's something where I explain to people that I work with, honoring the body is where the healing is taking place in the present moment. And it's actually pretty wild how far gone we are in our societal conditioning to work, exercise, like manage everything. From a kind of higher spiritual perspective, it's not about like micromanaging. It's actually about allowing the full expression through the body, through the being, the body of Christ. Like this is how we regenerate and live that expression. The body isn't outside of self. We're living the container of that. So yeah, healing the body, the nature of time and things taking time, and then that which you are growing. So this is, I mean, there's the roots, healing the root so that you can grow more. And I kind of get that for most of you. This is more about patience. I mean, Taurians are good with patience, right? But I am getting that sense of like there's more that you want. Maybe you want to like just really move forward, but like take a bit of time. Use your voice, speak certain things out into existence and see how that feels. Some of you also, that Queen of Wands, you could be healing like a mother wound or a sister wound. Let me know if that resonates with you guys. I'm curious. Oh, look, it's 4:20. I'm an early riser. I love these early morning hours. And then I'm just seeing a little poking of a light in the sky. The birds are chirping. Ooh, look, that makes me think of having short hair. What do you guys think? I could just cut it to there. But I never will. I'm like a bit of a mermaid, kind of obsessed with long hair. Anyway, you guys, Taurus, my lovers, you guys are the best. I freaking love you guys, and I appreciate you so much. My dad has a Taurus sun. And yeah, thank you for your stability, Taurus. Have an awesome month of July. Do let me know if that resonates with you guys. I'm always curious to hear from you and how things are resonating. Thank you for your guys' personal messages and updates around what's going on in your lives and your parts of the world. I appreciate you all so much. It means the world to me, really, to be able to keep spreading all to love as a brand just dedicated to love. It's pretty simple stuff. Holla Shazam. Take care, Taurus. I'll see you next time. Peace out.